Hey everyone, this is Greg. So I just finished my first semester at St. George University, and I'm happy to say that I got an A. And I just wanted to make this video to share my tips that I think were the most essential to getting an A, and not really deviating too much from this. Starting off with number one, Anki. Probably the most important tool that you're going to have in medical school. I know some people don't like it. They think it's too hard. They like to stick with the old school way of studying. But I have to say, this was life-changing. So I never used this program. I was just a note taker, and I would just revisit my notes. This puts everything in a nice, compact, organized manner for you to just keep revisiting the same material, which is really important because you have a lot of exams, a lot of topics, a lot of terms that you need to memorize, and Anki is fantastic for that. So number two is finding really good study partners and setting up a schedule where you guys are meeting and testing each other. I know if you're kind of an introvert and you want to do everything on your own, like when I was an undergrad, that's what I did. I didn't really like to study with other people because I felt like some people might not be working as hard as me, or they're working too hard and I'm not that at their level. But it's really important to find a group of people, not a big group, but small group, maybe 3 or 4 people that have kind of the same ideas that you have about what kind of grade that you want, and they can test you on things that you don't know. And vice versa, you're giving them information that you picked up that you thought was important, and they might not have. So it's really important to have good study partners. Okay, number 3 is doing practice questions. Practice questions every single day, if you can. I couldn't, I was always behind. The more questions you do, the more you see a pattern in what kind of information you need to know, what keywords go with certain types of prompts. I also tended to stick with St. George's material because it was the right level of difficulty. I noticed some sources would go into way greater detail, and it was stressful because I was like, oh man, this is so hard. Or it would be too easy, especially if it was made by previous students. So I would just stick with St. George's because that's where you're going to take the test. Those are the people you're going to take the test from. So do your practice questions. Number 4 is whiteboarding. Very important. Sometimes you get to certain concepts where, especially like biochem, where there's a lot of pathways, and you can't really write it down or type it in like bullet form. You have to see it as a big picture. That was how it worked for me. Or when I was trying to organize a bunch of little pieces of information that kind of all went together, like all the drugs that act on the heart, or all the muscles that act on the hip, or something like that. Though that was a good way for me to just kind of organize all that information, see it all in one shot, and then just try to rewrite that multiple times. That was really helpful when I had a lot of information that was similar, and I kind of needed to know it as one big chunk. So whiteboarding, very important. So number 5 is self-care. I think when you're really stressed out and you want to do well, I think that self-care kind of goes out the window because it's easy to get so focused in on what you have to do. But if you don't take care of yourself, you can't keep going at the pace that medical school is pushing you into. So for me, that was going for walks periodically. It was good for my mental sanity to just get out and just go walk and kind of think about, or maybe not think about, what I just covered. Also exercise, it's really good. Getting sleep, super important. Staying up with your nutrition, making sure that you're eating good meals that are going to last you through the whole day rather than eating a lot of junk. Although, it's very easy to gain weight and get chubby. I sure did. Number 6, the most important thing you need for medical school and probably anything you do is mental grit. it's gonna get very challenging. You're gonna get to a point where you feel like you're in a hole, where you don't know how you're gonna consume all this information that they're just chucking at you left and right, and how you're going to absorb it, and how you're going to spend the time, and how you're going to do your self-care, and how you're going to eat, and how you're going to go to the bathroom, how you do have time for all this. You just have to keep moving. That's the way I thought. You just have to keep going forward, and if you don't get a weekend, that's okay, because medical school and doing well, becoming a great doctor is the most important thing. You got to keep going back to your goals, keep motivating yourself. You have to put that fire under you. For me, sometimes, like when I was doing pathways, like the autonomic nervous system pathways, I would listen to Metallica and get really into it and just sit here and draw over and over and over again and just erase. I was tired, I was beat, but I would just get back into it and draw again. So you kind of have to have those little moments where you don't want to do it, you just want to go to bed, you just want to go watch some TV. But you have to keep reminding yourself that this is what you want to do, and it's going to take work, but in the end it's going to pay off tremendously, and it's only for a short period of time in the grand scheme of things. So that's number 6. Thank you for watching this video. Please comment if you think I left anything out that you thought was more important to your success. I always like to hear it because I always need to hit tips for myself. So thank you so much.